Hey guys, what's up? My name's Kayla from Planning with Kay, and welcome to another video. So it's finally close to the end of January, so you know what that means. It's time for a February Plan With Me video. This is actually going to be the first of 2 February Plan With Me's that I'm doing with 2 entirely different themes. So if you want to know when I post the second February Plan With Me later next week, make sure you subscribe down below. So as usual, I chose this month's theme based on your comment suggestions on my last Plan With Me video. And ever since winter started, so many of you have been suggesting a Northern Lights theme. And here's what I came up with. I'm going to be setting these spreads up today using my new Polar Lights sticker collection, which includes the 3-sheet monthly kit, the matching functional add-on sheet, and of course, the Arctic Animals doodle sheet, all of which are available in my sticker shop linked in the description below. Don't forget that I choose the theme every single month based on your suggestions, so make sure you leave your March theme ideas in the comments down below. And if I choose your theme, then your comment will be featured in next month's video. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and start setting up my February bullet journal spreads. As usual, I'm starting my setup off with my main monthly overview spread, going in first with the header right at the top of the page. I decided to also simplify and switch up some of my lettering for this setup, so you'll see that instead of my normal brush lettering that I like to do on my headers, I'm really just using a normal black pen to do this very simple monoline cursive. And I'm going to be doing a lot of this throughout all of these spreads. So then of course it's time to actually draw out my calendar, which I'm doing with that same black pen as well as a gray Tombow dual brush pen. And each day here is going to get a box that is 6 spaces wide by 6 spaces tall, with that first row of each week separated as a space to write in all of the dates. You may notice that I actually gave my calendar a whole extra week here, and that wasn't intentional. That was actually just a little mistake, but it just means that this calendar is actually going to go from February 1st all the way to March 7th, which in the end is really not a bad thing. It's actually pretty handy because it basically means that I can start pre-planning that first week of March a little bit ahead of time. So to match my theme, I'm going to be using 4 of my Crayola Supertips throughout this entire setup. This blue, purple, pink, and tealish green color. And I'm going in with these to color in those date rows on my calendar before I actually write in the dates with that same black pen. Finally, to finish off this calendar, I'm going to label the days of the week with these little circular weekly headers from the monthly kit. Moving along, you know I've been obsessed with Dutch doors recently, so of course I had to do another Dutch door monthly spread here for February, so I'm just tearing off basically all of that empty space on the right side of the calendar, leaving this stripe that's peeking out from underneath. And I'm going to be writing out a little decorative quote here that reads, "Infinite and invincible." Since my theme this month has absolutely nothing to do with Valentine's Day, I wanted to find a way to still include a little something to celebrate the fact that this is the month of love, as corny as that is. So infinite and invincible is just a little saying that holds a lot of meaning between my partner Jake and I. It's something we've been saying to each other for the last 3+ years. And for me, it's a perfect way to celebrate this month. Now moving on to the inside part of my Dutch door, I'm actually going to be mixing things up quite a bit this month, and I'm actually putting my February habit tracker right here in my monthly overview. Since I just went through and thought about all of my New Year's goals and resolutions when I set up my 2019 bullet journal setup, I wanted to create a much more stripped back habit tracker this month, where instead of tracking 10 to 20 to 30 habits like I normally would, instead I just think about the top 5 most important habits that I want to focus on, maybe ones that I struggled with last year that will help me achieve some of these New Year's resolutions I have. So each habit here is going to get its own box that is 14 spaces wide and 4 spaces tall, and I'm just dividing this into 28 spaces for the 28 days of February. So my 5 habits that I decided on for this month are working out, drinking water, shipping out orders on time, taking my birth control, and finally waking up by at least 8 a.m. every day. Most of my biggest goals for this year have generally to do with establishing a very sustainable and healthy routine. So if I can, at minimum, do these 5 things consistently throughout this year, or at least to start off this month, that alone would be a huge improvement from last year. So I'm really going to focus on these 5 habits this month, and hopefully I see a lot of these boxes get colored in. Now finally, I'm going to be using the right side of my Dutch door here for my February task list. Of course, I'm going to be splitting this into 2 lists like I normally do, one for personal tasks and one for business tasks. And I'm using these flags from the kit along with some checkbox list stickers to make those 2 lists for myself. I'm finishing the spread off at the bottom with a box for what I'm calling my monthly motto. I thought it would be really fun and very sort of motivational to come up with a sentence or 2 that describes what I want to get out of this month or what my intention and focus is set on for that month. So for February, I wrote, "This month I will build momentum for the year to come." Next up, I'm going to set up my daily review spread for February. Again, first just going in with the header at the top of the page. And can we just take a quick second to appreciate my favorite part of this entire sticker kit, which is this derpy little polar bear. I feel like his name is Walter. He is my son. I created him and I love him. So my daily review spread is basically just a spot for me to jot down a summary of each day, as well as record my mood for that day. And I'm going to give each day here 2 lines, 14 days per page. I'm also separating 2 spots at the beginning of each day. The first is going to be to write down the date, and the second is going to be a spot to record my mood. And I'm coloring in the date sections with those same 4 Crayola markers. Now, of course, in order to track my mood, I'm going to need a key of some sort. So that's what I'm putting at the top of the spread right here, just using those same 4 colors again, each one corresponding to a different mood. So that way I can just color in the box each day to track my mood. Alright, so now I'm going to set up my finance tracker for this month, and if you're familiar with my past setups, I am scaling this back quite a bit. So instead of taking up a whole spread like I normally would, this finance tracker is only going to be 1 page, and it's just going to keep track of my bills, my income, and finally my savings for the month. So for each and every bill that I have due this month, I'm going to write down the date it's due, what the bill is for, and how much it is. And I'll then color in that entire box to mark when a bill has been paid. For my income and savings section, I'm going to be keeping record each week of how much I make from my 3 income sources, being Etsy, Patreon, and YouTube. And I'm also going to write down how much money I have in my savings account at the end of the week. Like I said, I'm scaling this back quite a bit as I normally have some sort of spending log or spending tracker as a part of my finance spread. But I decided this month that I really wanted my setup to be a little bit more low-key and maybe not have quite as much to fill in throughout the month. So I kept this a bit more simple, and maybe I'll ramp it up next month depending on how this works for me. So now on the right page here, I'm going to set up a brain dump for February, which is something I've been loving as a part of my monthly setup recently. I'm going in with the last 4 of those little flag stickers that came in the monthly kit to create 4 different sections here for my brain dump. And those sections are Patreon, YouTube, stickers, and other. And this is just going to give me a good amount of space to jot down any stray thoughts or ideas that may pop up in my brain throughout the month. Alright, so finally to finish off this video, I'm going to set up the first weekly spread of the month of February. So I'm first going in with a huge header all along the top of this spread, laying in a couple of these little circular wolf stickers on the ends. The left side is going to be the actual header for this spread, which is going to be January 28th through February 3rd. And then on the right side, I'm going to put a little decorative quote here, and that's going to read, "It's the journey, not the destination." And again, I'm sticking with that same sort of monoline lettering style that I've been using for this entire setup. I'm now going to create my daily sections across the spread, starting off by laying in that second set of these circular weekly headers from the kit. and each day is going to get a column that is 6 spaces wide and 16 spaces tall. So the first 4 rows of each day is going to be sectioned off, and I'm going to use this space to jot down my main focus for the day, whether that's a very specific task that I need to get done, like editing a video, or maybe just a general focus, like catch up on work or take some me time. I basically just want to start off each day with a lot of intention and decide what my focus is going to be for the day. The rest of the column is then going to be for all of my day-specific tasks and events. I also always like to include a separate task list on my weekly logs where I can jot down any non-day specific tasks that I need to accomplish that week. So again, I'm splitting that up into business and personal at the bottom of this spread, just going in with some more of those checkbox list stickers to finish those off. And just like that, that is the last spread of my February setup. I definitely tried to mix things up this month since this was my first monthly Plan With Me video back since the new year, and I have to say that I am really happy with all of the changes I decided to make. I always talk about this, but for me, mixing things up in my journal is how it stays fresh and fun for me. I really don't like doing the same exact thing over and over again, so I'm really excited about these spreads. Obviously, only time will tell if they end up really working for me, but for now, they definitely got me really excited and ready to take on February. It was also so much fun using my new Polar Light sticker collection for this setup, and don't forget to check out the links to all of the stickers I used today in the description below if you want to use the same theme in your journal. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you're excited for February, be sure to give this video a like, and don't forget to leave your March theme suggestions in the comments below. Follow me if you're not already on Instagram at PlanningWithKay, and also make sure to check out the links to my sticker shop, Patreon, and all of their social media in the description below. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.